Ladies and gentlemen, voters of Lindsay, the Australia First Party campaign for the seat of Lindsay has always been about raising the profile of our organisation as the main vehicle that would take up the issues of globalisation in Penrith City. Globalisation is the process that sees not only our urban environment smashed to smithereens by foreign property purchase, overseas student towers, new developments in the CBDs and so forth. It's a process that links your industries, your jobs and your future with an economic order that you cannot control. Our party has made it pretty clear that these issues operate in the Lindsay electorate. But our campaign has also been about, and necessarily about, confronting those organisations and people who disagree with our stance on globalisation. We saw only yesterday or the day before the Australian Liberty Alliance enter the field. This party, which believes in free trade and foreign property purchase and immigration, except Muslim immigration, will split the vote on a very important community issue in the Penrith City area, namely the construction of the mosques in Penrith City. Splitting of the vote, folks, is a very important matter when we have a policy of always preferencing the sitting member last. We don't differentiate between the Liberal and Labor parties. We see them both as globalist machines. But now Liberty Alliance will take some of those community concerned votes on the issue of these mosques and preference it back to the Liberal Party. And yesterday we saw the entry into the fray of Councillor Marcus Cornish, a so-called independent Conservative. Now, Councillor Cornish made a bit of a name for himself there, saying that he was opposed to the building of these mosques in Kemps Creek, all the while he supported certain types of foreign investment in Penrith that will see the demographic face of Penrith changed forever. In view of the fact that these two candidates have now entered the fray, it does mean that the direction of our campaign must, if you like, veer a little, change a little to take into account this change. It means that we actually have to confront an organised attempt to place a bloc in the way of Australia First style nationalism, Australia First type politics in Western and far Western Sydney. Indeed, that has been the case, the subterranean, if you like, subtext of all of this campaigning by us and by them now for over 2 years. What we've seen is a group of so-called conservatives in Penrith City making a lot of noise about the building of these mosques in Kemps Creek and what a threat to our way of life it is and how it does challenge our laws, our culture and so on. All the while these very same conservatives support the globalising processes that will see Penrith turn into, by and large, a Chinese-style enclave city over time with the new CBD and the new high-rise and the Penrith Lakes and all the rest of it. To confront globalisation, therefore, unfortunately means that we have to confront the people who are these blocks in the way. It actually means that the average voter in Lindsay, the ordinary citizen, actually sees in motion what politics really is. Politics isn't about polling day and putting bits of paper in ballot boxes and ticking off and voting for a candidate. Politics is actually what takes place at a community level. Far Western Sydney is targeted for massive development. There's no doubt about this. The merging of councils in parts of Sydney, the extension of new rail facilities, the widening of roads, the setting up of new infrastructures like hospitals. This isn't for the benefit of the Australian people, quite the contrary. It's for the benefit of hordes of immigrants who haven't even arrived yet. What you'll see in the rest of this campaign is Australia First being compelled to fight the issues of globalisation by actually politically targeting the blocks that stand in the way of building a people's anti-globalisation movement in Western Sydney. In the past, I've actually seen documents, I've received messages, I've spoken to people who make it very, very clear to me that they are deeply concerned that Australia First style politics could take off in Western and far Western Sydney. I believe that. But it can only be around the key issues of actually struggling for the Australian people's interest at the job front, at the work front, street level, at community level, at cultural level, and so forth. So this campaign is going to be a very interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. You'll now see several changes, as I said, in our development that will show us doing a rather different form of political campaign. So stay tuned, and there's more to come. Thank you.